welcome back to KA MMA. I'm Khalil Deal.
I'm Andy O.
We are KA MMA back again for UFC Fight Night London. This is going to be a spectacular event. Went through the card. I love it. Leon Edwards is going to be facing off against Sean Brady for the main event. But we're going to talk about our early predictions for the prelims, and we're going to talk about who's in the prelims right now. Starting off with the first fight is Guram Kutaladze versus Coway Fernandez. Then we got Kaulan Lufran against Nathan Fletcher. Shauna Bannon against Pooja Tomar. Andre Puliev against Christian Leroy Duncan. Marcin Tibera against Mick Parkin. Lonair Kavanaugh against Felipe Dos Santos. And the main event of the prelims is going to be Jai Heber against Chris Padilla. All right, so last week, what an event. Andy O's back must be hurting for carrying the channel. He went 8-5, so 8 wins, 5 losses out of the 13 fights. I went a horrible 6-7, but we did decent on the betting, especially if you cashed some of Andy O's pearls. One of the pearls was amazing there.
We survived because of hitting on that pearl.
Carlos Vera by submission at 21 times your money was absolutely insane. I got one of my sprinkles, Carlos Vera by submission or decision, which was also
12 times your money. 12 times your money.
Oh, 12 times. Okay. But anyways, it was still amazing. Unfortunately, we didn't do so well in the predictions myself. Betting just broke even. So let's hope for a better week this week. So let's start it off with the first fight of the prelims. We got Coway Fernandez against Guram Kutaladze. Andy O, who you got in this one, my man?
All right, Coway Fernandez coming in here off a win, off of Mohamed Yahya. And he lost the one prior to that against Mark Diakase, and before that he was in the LFA. So I would say that Guram Kutaladze has fought way better competition. He has a lot more experience in the UFC. Personally, I think he's a little overrated, Guram. I think his weakness is his gas tank, like guys that pressure him well and work him over against the cage, stuff like that. He tends on tiring, especially in the third round. But I don't think Kai Fernandez is going to be able to get that kind of pressure consistently on Kutaladze here. Fernandez, good kickboxer. He does have really good leg kicks, like lower leg kicks, and that's something that Guram I've seen have trouble with. But I think if he addresses that early, it shouldn't be a real problem. Fernandez's high kicks are good too, for that matter. But Guram, I think he's better overall. He, of course, can grapple, and I think he's going to use some of that. And just the gas tank is really the main issue. So give me Guram here by decision.
Yes, we are starting off good here. I'm also in agreement. I'm liking Guram Kutaladze, Georgian Viking, in this one, man. Coway Fernandez, like you had mentioned, coming out of the LFA, made his UFC debut against Mark Diakase. I watched that fight. Coway Fernandez didn't look too special in that fight. He was, he's an okay puncher. He's got okay kicks. Nothing about him is spectacular. Mark Diakase took him down like there was nobody's business in that fight. He kept taking him down all the time in that fight, landed more punches, did more damage on the ground, and eventually beat him by split decision. Coway, he was decent, but his takedown defense did not look great against Mark Diakase. Now, when he fought Mohamed Yahya, we don't even have to talk about that fight. Mohamed Yahya is absolute trash. I remember that fight up in Abu Dhabi, and it was he got knocked out like right away. It was absolutely horrible. We can't give this guy props for beating that bum of Mohamed Yahya. Now, Guram, on the other hand, love the guy. This guy is a brawler. He comes at you, moves forward, throws amazing punches. Like you said, good low kicks. He's also got some good liver kicks, where he throws some kicks to the body, good liver kicks there. And like you said, man, the opponents he faced, Felipe Silva, Mateus Gamrot, where he actually beat him by split decision, losing to guys like Damir Ismagulov and Elvis Brenner, and then recently fighting and beating Jordan Vucenic, who's also in this card. And Jordan Vucenic is a beast.
Jordan Vucenic was beating him up until he got tired, actually.
Yeah. And again, that was, I think Jordan's came in on short notice on that fight. But anyways, uh,
Yeah.
Guram is going to have a 2 inch height advantage here, and the reach is about the same between these two. I like Guram's forward pressure. I think he's going to be a bit too much for Cowboy Fernandez. I think he's a step above him. I like Guram also winning this one, and I think he wins this one by KO or decision. And you, how do you have Guram winning?
By decision.
All right, man. So we're in agreement with the first fight. I like that. Let's move on up to the next second fight here of the prelims. We got Nathan Fletcher versus Caolan Lafran. This fight,
Wait. It's Fletcher against Loran 2. They already
right,
fought.
part two. That's right. These guys have fought before. I was about to mention that. The first fight I watched these two fight, man, it was a lot of scrambling going on between these two. Both very good fighters, and both of these guys were throwing a lot of strikes, a lot of punches and leg kicks. But what was impressive was the fact that these guys are very good at grappling. And you saw these guys fight the first time. A lot of rolling around on the ground, a lot of scrambling, reverse positions. But who I liked a lot more was Nathan Fletcher. I thought that he was actually better at the grappling. I thought that he was dominant most of the time in the scrambling. I thought he got on top most of the time, reversed a lot of takedowns. He had more control time when he was on top. I like the fact that he's going to have this reach, the height advantage here. He's going to be the taller guy over Cowley Luffred, a 2 inch height advantage here for him. Um, as far as the reach is concerned, uh, I think that Nathan Fletcher has the reach advantage here. Let me just double check that. Yes, Nathan Fletcher will have a 2 inch reach advantage as well. So that's looking good for Nathan Fletcher. And yeah, I just find that Cowlin Luffren is too much of a bodybuilder type of guy. He's too big for his size at 5'6". He's too big and muscular and wide. So it makes him a little bit more sloppy and more stiff when he throws his punches. He's not as slick on the ground as Nathan Fletcher, who's the more leaner guy and more cut and more quicker and faster. So I think that Nathan Fletcher is going to get the win here. I like him by submission or decision. And plus, Nathan Fletcher is a submission specialist. As you can see here, 7 out of his 9 wins are by sub. So I got him winning by sub or decision. I like Nathan Fletcher in this one.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there on the striking of Lauren there. He doesn't have that fluidity in his striking because of that. I guess because of his body build. You could be right there. But I do think he's a slightly better striker overall, maybe than Nathan Fletcher. But I do think that Nathan Fletcher beats him when it comes to the grappling. He'll just get the upper hand there. He'll be the one that gets more of the control time on top, and I think he's more of a submission threat. So I think he's going to take this one also, and I think it's actually going to go to decision again. So give me a most likely decision or sub for Fletcher.
Also, one thing to point out too that you can see here on the graph, the weight of Lufran at 135, where he normally fights at bantamweight. Nathan Fletcher is featherweight at the weight at 145. So I believe Nathan Fletcher will be the bigger guy in this one.
I'm not sure who's going up in weight or down, actually.
The fight is supposed to set at a. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be at. Let me see here. At what's the fight going to be at? Actually, yeah, good question. Is it at bantamweight or is it at featherweight? Let's take a quick look here. I believe, yeah, this fight is set to be at bantamweight. So,
Okay.
so it's Fletcher actually that's going to be going down in weight. So there you go. So Fletcher's going down in weight, so he'll be the bigger guy. All right. So we're in agreement with Nathan Fletcher here. I think he wins by submission. Very good odds that he wins by sub too. He's a very good submission specialist, man. All right, let's move on up to the third fight here. We got Shauna Bannon against Pooja Tomar.
Oh boy. All right. I'm not going to say too much about this fight here.
Don't blame you.
I guess Sean Abannon fights with some spunk in there is the only way I can put it. Uh, Pooja Tomar does fight somewhat like a cyclone because I think she's kind of physical in there. She throws kind of hard shots, but they're pretty sloppy. Um, I'm just gonna go with Shanna Bannon because of her spunk without much confidence. What about you, real deal?
Oh yeah, man. We definitely don't have to talk much about this one. Shauna Bannon fighting out of Ireland. She's going to have the fans cheering for her up here in London. Pooja Tamar out of India. Here's the thing about Pooja Tamar. She sucks. And when she fought in the UFC, she barely beat Rayanne Amanda, who also sucks. So I definitely like Shauna Bannon here. She's fought already in the UFC twice, fighting the likes of Bruna Brazil, who's a very tough opponent, and also fighting Alice Ardalian, who she ended up beating in a split decision. Um, she could barely beat Pooja could barely beat Rayanne Amanda. She won a split decision in that fight, and it was an absolute horrible fight. Pooja, I mean, she's okay. I think she just won that fight because she did a little bit more in that fight than the other girl, but nothing to be excited about. Shauna Bannon will have a 1 inch height advantage on her. Actually, it's supposed to be. If you see here, this is the funniest thing. Okay, on in Sherdog right here, it says 4'9" for Pooja and 5'5" for Shauna Bannon. So she's supposed to have a 6 inch height advantage according to this here, right?
Hmm.
But on topology, it says that Pooja Tomar is 5'4" and Bannon's 5'5". So we'll have to see that in the face-offs what the real actual height advantage is. I think Shauna Bannon is gonna. This is probably more accurate here on Sherdog. I think Shauna Bannon is going to be the taller fighter. Why I think that is because she's also going to have a 6 inch reach advantage for Shauna Bannon. Her reach is at 65 inches compared to 59 for Pooja. So I'm thinking that Shauna's probably the taller one here by a lot. So I'm going to go with this one here at her being about 5 or 6 inches taller than Pooja with that 6 inch reach advantage, man. It's just a no brainer here. I got to go for Shauna Bannon. Plus, if it goes to decision, you know it's going to Shauna Bannon. All right, so yeah, we're in agreement with this one. I like her winning by KO or decision. I think she could maybe even clip Pooja, who's also been knocked out once before. All right, let's move on up to the next fight here. We got Christian Leroy Duncan against Andrei Pulayev, and I'm going for Christian Leroy Duncan. I watched Andrei Pulayev's fights. Nothing special. The guy's okay. I mean, he's decent. I'm not going to say that he's bad, but there was nothing really that stood out to me when I watched his fights. I saw him against Liam Anderson in the Contender Series. Yeah, he won at the unanimous decision, but it was very blah. Decent punches, decent kicks. He had I think one takedown in there. He has been looking pretty decent in the lower level events where he got some submissions and knockouts, but now you're stepping up in competition here against a Christian Leroy Duncan who's going to be, pretty much a vet so far. He's already fought in the UFC quite a few times against some high-level opponents. Dusko Todorovic, Armin Petrosian, Dennis Talulin, Claudio Ribeiro, and Gregory Rodriguez. So, I mean, he's fought the better competition, man. I got to go with Christian Leroy Duncan. I think that he's levels above Andre in the striking, that's for sure. Andre, I think his path to victory would be takedowns. Getting the fight to the ground. He does have a couple of submissions there. He's a decent grappler. But Christian Leroy Duncan has been working on that. We've seen him looking also pretty decent at takedown defense when he was doing that against Claudio Ribeiro and also against Gregory Rodriguez. He was able to stop some takedowns and keep the fight on the feet. And I like his striking a lot more than Andre. So I'm going to go Christian Leroy Duncan to win by KO or decision.
Yeah, I got to go with Duncan here also. I think his striking is just that much better, and Puliev does have some decent BJJ, so I expect him to try and get it to the ground. But I think that he needs more work here, Puliev. He is taller than Christian Duncan actually, by a couple inches, or so they say. But also, I feel since he lost to RoboCop there his last fight out, I think he's at home here, and I think they may have seen Andrei Puliev here as a pretty good matchup for him also. So he has to win this fight, Leroy Duncan here, that's for sure. So give me him by knockout or decision.
All right, we're in agreement with this fight as well. So far, we're in agreement, I think, with all of the fights so far. Looking good. Let's get to the next one here. All right, we got Mick Parkin against Marcin Tybura. This one here, I'm going for Mick Parkin. This is an England fighter here in London. He's in his hometown. Look at the weight difference you can see here. Mick Parkin, 264 pounds, Marcin Tibura, 251. So he's going to be the bigger guy in this one. And it's hard to be bigger than Marcin Tibura, but he's actually bigger than this guy, which is pretty incredible. Um, but I
I
definitely,
don't think I trust what they say. We'll see what they weigh in at.
yeah, we'll definitely look at that. But I do know that Mick Parkin's a pretty big motherfucker, man. He's a big dude. 29 years old. This is very important here. A 10-year age difference here between the two. Tibera getting up there at now 39 years old. So Mick Parkin 10 years younger. I like that. He's 10-0. He's doing absolutely really good. I like Mick Parkin's striking. Very good boxer, punches very hard. He's actually pretty technical. He doesn't just throw wild punches like Marcin Tibera does. Tibera's path to victory, it's the takedown games. He's a much better grappler. He does have a black belt in BJJ. As you can see, he's got 7 submissions. He's also got 10 knockouts, so he does punch pretty hard. But if this fight stays standing, Mick Parkin, he is really, really good on the feet, man. His punches are powerful too. He's got 6 knockouts out of his 10 wins. He's also got a submission, surprisingly. But yeah, Mick Parkin is just I feel like he's hungrier. I think it's his time now. I think this is like a passing of the torch type of thing here, where Mick Parkin is going to just like bust into the division here and start moving up the rankings, man. So I like Mick Parkin to win by knockout or decision. I think he's going to get it done in front of his fans here in his hometown in London.
Yeah, this is a very tough fight to call here. I don't think Mick Parkin has faced as good of a grappler yet as Martin Tibura here. He has a lot more experience, obviously, faced a slew of better guys, like uh, like top level guys. Parkin does have decent striking, and it should be getting better considering his age. And apparently, as well, he trains with Tom Aspinall.
That's right.
Now,
Tom Aspinall beat Marcin Tibura.
nobody has ever seen them train together, but this is apparently the rumor. So, yeah, I think it is a decent step up for Mick Parkin, but he was getting taken down by I think by Chow Machado, if I'm not wrong. I forget. Somebody here was taking him down, and if they were taking him down, I was thinking, wow, if Tibura gets him down, he can. It's possible he makes him look foolish down there and subs him up right away. So for now, man, for now I'm gonna have to go with Marcin Tibura here. No,
Oh no!
wait a minute. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
No, I'm gonna go with Mick Parkin here for now.
yeah! All right.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
God, you scared me there, man. But hey, you know what though? Marcin Tibura, he is the slight favorite here, so it's almost even odds here. I'd like to see what the live odds are right now.
It's even.
Look
It's
quickly.
even now.
It's even right now, so pick your poison here. But I like Mike McPark and a bit a T wit more, a wee bit more, as they say in London, a wee bit more. And
I like the English ogre, but
yeah, man, I think he'll get it done, man. I think that especially if it goes to decision this fight, you know damn well they're going to give it to McParkin, man. All right, so your pick, official final pick here, Andy O.
Tibura by decision
The Burrow or Parkin?
or sub. No. Okay. Mick Parkin by decision.
Man, you're killing me here, man. All right, McParkin, we're in agreement. Nice. All right. We'll see if Andy O changes his mind by Friday there. All right, let's move
This is
on.
the one, if any, that I would switch just because it's such a tough one.
All right, so here
Right.
we've got a fight that I've been waiting to talk about, man. I've been waiting to talk about this fight.
Okay.
Laurier Kavanaugh against Felipe dos Santos.
All right, here we go with this matchup here. Now, for anyone wondering, this was I think this was the biggest favorite on the card. At least it was. Loner Kavanaugh was the favorite by a fairly wide margin against Felipe dos Santos, who, by the way, if you didn't know, has fought excellent competition like like a Manel Cap and Andre Lima, who won last week, right? And we were wondering, well, did he win a round in these fights? he won the first round against Andre Lima, actually. And the good fight he lost to Manel Cap, he came in on short notice. And if you remember that fight, that was a very good fight. Sure, Manel Cap won, but Dos Santos performed very well. With Dos Santos, he does have quality skills. He's young. He throws with volume, and he has a pretty good chin also, I would say. Not only that, he has BJJ, and he's capable of subbing guys, I think. I say that to start talking about Loner Kavanaugh because with him, the thing we don't know about him is how good his BJJ is. That is yet to be really tested. What he does have, he has great striking, he has nice power, he has some good technique, but his range could be better managed in terms of effective striking. For that matter, so can Felipe Dos Santos is. But all in all here, it's I got to go with Felipe Dos Santos to pull it off. He's fought.
Yeah,
He's
nice
fought.
one.
He's the more I looked at it, I'm like, he's way too favored here, Lonar Kavanaugh. He has not faced nearly the level of competition. And what makes me feel more confident in his pick, it's like Manel Cap and Andre Lima, who's on fire lately, looks great. He looks like he could be ranked easily. Would you complain if Andre Lima was ranked? A
No,
number 10? Absolutely not. Considering all of this, I have to go with Felipe Dos Santos, man. He won, yeah, and I liked it even more because he won the first round on every judge's card against Andre Lima. So that even makes me feel better about it. So give me Dos Santos by decision, decision or sub, but I'm feeling decision here.
nice, man. I'm glad that you're going with Felipe Dos Santos. Me and NDO actually discussed a little bit about this prior to the show, man. We talked about this, man. I definitely think that the line is way too wide here. Uh, why is everybody going crazy over Lone Air Kavanaugh? Yeah, okay. He is very good. He's got some very good punches. He's pretty fast. He's very quick. Uh,
Yeah, quick. He is quick.
He's got nice combinations. He throws a lot of fast punches, comes charging at you. He's very, very fast. But when you think about the level of competition he fought in Cage Warriors, we're talking guys that were really terrible. I mean, me and NDO could look good and beat some of these guys in Cage Warriors here. You know what I mean? Like anybody could look good fighting some of these guys in Cage Warriors. That
Yeah, I was just telling you actually before, about how Cage Warriors hasn't really produced like standout stars in a long time.
you know.
And what one
A
more
lot of
thing,
the guys that he's beating in Cage Warriors too even went to a decision on a couple of these guys against a couple of these guys. You know,
one more thing you were saying about why is he so favored? I'll tell you another reason why I think he's so favored. It's because of that nice looking knockout he got on the Contender Series with that left hook on and
Antoine Ho, but come on, man, who the fuck is Antoine Ho? Seriously,
just giving another reason as to why. Like, wow, sick knockout, right? And
it's just unbelievable to me that you're going to give such a huge favorite to a guy who's never fought in the UFC. The first fight that he did he never fought a UFC fighter. The first fight that he had was against Jose Ochoa, who was also making his UFC debut. This guy was also on the road to UFC, Loner Kavanaugh, and fought a bunch of guys there. The guy is not bad or anything like that. He's great, but the level of competition is bad who he's fought. So of course he's going to look amazing and look so great and good. We've seen what's happened to a lot of these guys making their UFC debuts, coming in, and huge favorites against guys that have been in the UFC and fought before. Felipe Dos Santos, not to mention, is going to have a 3-inch height advantage over Lone Air Kavanaugh. So that's another thing in his favor. And he's also going to have a 3-inch reach advantage as well. Felipe Dos Santos can scramble. He could fight. He's coming out of shoot the box. He's a very good kickboxer. He also has submissions. He can scramble on the ground. He's very hard to take down. He's very hard to submit. As you can see, he's got no submissions, no knockout losses. He's never been finished. So this is a tough guy here that Lone Air Kavanaugh is going to face. This is a step up in competition. And as you mentioned, NDO, the level of competition that Felipe Dos Santos fought could easily beat Lone Air Kavanaugh. Guys like Andre Lima and Manel Kape, I say would definitely beat Lone Air Kavanaugh, and these guys could maybe even finish him. and Felipe went to a decision against these guys, so he didn't even get finished. I liked how he looked against Victor Altamirano also. So yeah, I think the line is way off. I like Felipe dos Santos to get the win here. Fuck this hype on Lonair Kavanaugh. We got to see some more out of this guy. See him fight some quality opponents in the UFC before we start hyping this guy up like that. So yeah, I think he's going to get fraud checked by Felipe here on Saturday. All right, let's move on up. I like that we're in agreement with that one. All right, we're at the main event of the prelims. If you guys haven't yet, please like and subscribe. We got Jai Herbert against Chris Padilla. Now,
No. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
this is the main event of the prelims here. Jai Herbert and Chris Padilla. So for this one here, I got to go with Chris Padilla. I got to go with Taco, man. I like Jai Herbert. He's pretty decent. The guy has some good striking. He's got some good punches. The fact that he's going to be, significantly taller than Chris Padilla is good there. He's also going to have a reach advantage too, of a 3-inch reach advantage. But the thing about Chris Padilla, this guy is a dog. He goes out there and he fights like a dog. He goes out there and he goes nuts, does everything to try to get the win. And I think he's going to be able to get in close on Jai Herbert. He's fought a lot of opponents that have been taller than him, and he manages to get in close. What I like about Chris Padilla, he's got good submission skills. He's a black belt in BJJ. He's got 5 submissions, 8 knockouts. I think he gets in close to Jai Herbert. Jai Herbert has problems fighting guys that are good at grappling. His ground game is horrible. Jai Herbert, when he gets taken down, he stays on the ground, has difficulties getting back up. He's like almost a fish out of water when he gets taken down. We saw that against when he fought Fares Ziam, who actually used some wrestling in that fight. Fares Ziam took down Jai Herbert quite a few times in that fight and managed to beat him by unanimous decision. Also, we've seen the same thing happen when Ilya Topuria fought Jai Herbert. Topuria, he ended up knocking him out, but he did take him down in that fight as well. So I like Padilla here. I think he finishes Jai Herbert either by knockout or submission. He's been knocked out 3 times out of his 5 losses, Jai Herbert, so I wouldn't be surprised Chris Padilla could lock up, could hit him with some solid punches here and get a knockout. So KO submission for Chris Padilla for me. I just think he's better than Jai Herbert. So yeah, not everybody's going to win in London.
Yeah, Jay Herbert came closest to knocking out Topuria there with that head kick before he got finished off by Topuria, actually. So that was kind of a highlight for Jay Herbert there. So yeah, the Black Country Ranger, though, good kicks. He's tough, but like he'll try to fight for your money, but he's chinny. You got to say he's chinny at this point, right? So getting knocked out as many times as he did. What Jay Herbert needs to be most successful is give him his space. Give him his space to do his nice high kicks. Give him his space to do his nice low kicks. He just needs that range. If he doesn't get it, he doesn't fight as well in close, although he'll try. But what he also doesn't do is have the grappling, I don't think, to keep up with Padilla here. Um, Heber will, like, sometimes though Heber won't be able to get up and he'll actually try to strike you from the bottom, which I like. I wanted to mention that because I like it when guys like at least try to do that. When it comes to the striking, I'd say maybe Herbert is more technical, pure kind of classical style kickboxing striker, whereas Padilla is a little more unorthodox and he throws nice elbows on the feet. So if he gets in close, I think Padilla is going to muck it up with some nice elbows, possibly cut up Jay Hebert and maybe knock him out. So I expect more improvements out of him than I do Jai Hebert at this point because he's not even 30 yet, Chris Padilla.
Exactly. So yeah, that's one thing to mention too. It's going to be a 7-year difference in age. You're 36 years old, coming close to 37 in May there. And we got Chris Padilla at 29. So we're looking at a 7-year age difference between the two there. And Chris Padilla likes to get these fights in close and uses grappling and wrestling to take down his opponent. So I could see him having success there. So there we have it, folks. Me and NDO in agreement with all of the fights in the prelim. This is something that happens rarely, but when it does, we normally do very well. And Please like and subscribe. Stay tuned. Let's see if we can continue this in the main card coming up next. Peace out, KAMMA. Let's get it this week.
Good day, baby.